Welcome to
Hey.
Two Wavy Girls on the Internet.
Oh, I'm Allison Lupo.
And I'm Swavy Curly Courtney. We celebrate all things wavy curly and wonderfully real. We play around with all the products.
And read the back of the bottle so you don't have to.
Yay! We're doing
Always
it.
reading the back of the bottle.
It's a problem now. Like, I go into the grocery store and wander the aisle, and I'm just like, why?
Oh, it's the first thing. And I don't even do it with just hair products now. It's also with food. Like
Yes.
it has bled into other areas of my life. And I'm like, why do I have to do this? Like I told my husband, I'm tired of going to the grocery store and being scared of food, but it's like I know enough just to be dangerous at this point in time. So that's where I am
Yeah.
with life. I don't know if you feel the same way, but once you start like going down into that rabbit hole, it's like there's no ending. It just keeps going.
It does. Now my kick for food is seed oils. I see a seed oil in a food and I'm like, dang it, now I can't buy this.
Yes, all the salad dressings that you ever wanted to eat are completely out. They're completely trash. You have to make them at home. Like it's the list is long. I was out with my kids just this afternoon and we stopped by the local farm that sells raw milk and all kinds of other things because I wanted to get like organic heavy cream that did not have carrageenan and all kinds of other
Mhm.
junk in it. And I was like, man, I've gone to a real crunchy place. But let's bring it back to hair. Let's bring it back to where we are and why are we doing this? So my name is Allison Lupo. I'm here with Swavy, Curly, Courtney. I know you know her. She's amazing. This is our first podcast, and we're filming this in a live YouTube version. I have wanted to make a podcast forever and ever and ever, but I just think it's not that interesting when it's just you talking. And Courtney and I had a conversation on the phone a couple weeks ago because she's got some big news she may or not be sharing on here. I don't know if you're there yet, but you will be at some point. So, hey. And we chatted for a long time. And I said to her before we got off the phone, hey, by the way, how you feel about doing a podcast? And she was like, I'll let you tell the people because she's done it before, so she knows what she's doing.
I was so excited and I felt like for a long time it would have been an absolute blast to just have a couple of hair nerds sitting down together and chatting all things hair and life in general. So this is really exciting. I was really glad that you were wanting to do this. We met like what, 6 years ago at this point?
Did you come to my event that I did at the hair school, the
Good.
free from the flat iron event that I did back in 2018?
I did. I thought it was 2019,
It was
but
2019. It was 2019. It was May 2019 because I started school in November 2018. Sorry, the time
Mhm.
being in cosmetology school was very brain scrambling for me. It was an 18-month period of insanity. And I love it. I wouldn't do it any differently. I wouldn't do it any other way, but it was brain scrambling. So, yes, you're right. It was May 2019.
That is
And
when
it
we
was,
met in person. Yes, it was
yes,
incredible.
it was amazing. And Atoya was there, and Jessica was there, and so many of our other friends from the internets, from the
Mhm.
Instagram, and all the people talking about wavy curly hair. So many of them went, and it was
Kelly
incredible.
Foreman
That was so
from Mop
fun.
Top was there. Yep.
Yeah, Kelly. Yeah,
I
yeah.
still chat with her from time to time. She is the sweetest.
She is. She's so outgoing, and she's just the nicest, realest person. She's
Yes.
wonderful.
So, Allison, in case somebody from Swavy Curly Courtney YouTube channel doesn't know your backstory, why did you start caring for your waves and curls?
Oh,
What got you
I
interested
love that
in
you're
this
bringing
rabbit?
the interview questions. I'm sorry. Go ahead. What?
What brought you down this rabbit hole?
Oh, okay. Again, I'm so glad you're bringing the interview questions. That's so fun. Okay, so and I want to hear yours too. In like 2016, 2017, I had two children at home. I was looking for an easier way to care for my hair, and I had been blowing it out, flat ironing it for a long time. I lived in Virginia Beach for a period of time in my late 20s, in the um, like early 2000s, like 2005, 2006. And I knew my hair was wavy in Virginia Beach. It was very humid, so I wore my hair wavy, but it was very much like a very I should pull up the picture and share it at some point in time, but it was very much like a crunchy, bleached 90s dehydrated mess. But you know what? It was beachy. It worked. It was totally fine. And it's still totally fine. It was great hair. But I stopped wearing it that way because I moved to Dallas, and Dallas is the land of the perfect coif. You know, like there is the higher the hair, the closer to God. So like, you know, you got to have the big, but the smooth, and there's no big beachy. Beachy didn't fit, I learned. And I was like, oh, this isn't going to work in corporate America in Dallas, Texas. So I had to make some changes. So I went back to what I knew, which was blowing it out, wearing it straight, all that good stuff. And then I had kids, and then I was home for a little bit, and I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. My hair is damaged. It's flat. But I don't know what else to do. But I used to wear it wavy in college. So long story short, I started wearing it wavy again and realized that it didn't look great. It wasn't as humid here as it was in Virginia. I didn't have the right products. I found out that the product that I had used in college and right after college that made my hair curly, it was this product called Curl Up Curling Balm by KMS. And it was the only thing that I felt like made my hair curly. And it was discontinued. And I didn't know what to do. And so that actually led me down the rabbit hole of what do ingredients do? What did my hair like about this product? And so I got analytical about it. And I dove into what even was this product? Was it a gel? What is an enhancer? I don't even know what that means. Is it a cream? No, it doesn't look like a cream. Are creams white? You know, like I started from nothing and started researching ingredients and bought a whole bunch of things that seemed like they would work, and started experimenting, and then started sharing my woeful fails on the internet because it seemed like fun while my kids were in preschool for like 3 hours, three times a week. It's funny. So that's what happened. And anyway, I just thought it would be fun, and then it turned into something else. So how about you? How did you end up having this conversation with me today? What led you down this path?
So I was actually teaching preschool back in 2017, and in May 2017, May 2018, I taught for 2 years, 17 and 18. So May 2018, one of my coworkers who always had that perfect Texas blowout, like smooth, amazing hair. She had great hair. One day she walked in and had spiral perfection ringlets on her head. I was like, those are the prettiest things I've ever seen. What did you do? Which curling iron did you use to get those curls? And she laughed so sweet and told me that it was not a curling iron, that it was actually her natural curls. And had I heard of this thing called the Curly Girl Method? She had just bought the book. She was so excited. She just bought all the Diva Curl products. And did you know that the lady who started the Curly Girl Method also founded Diva Curl? But like, she's so reputable and not connected to her products at all. Anyway, went down all of that. She gave me her copy of the Curly Girl Handbook. I read it and I was hooked instantly, because in college, like you, I had worn my hair curly, AKA I just didn't do anything to it. I just washed it and let it air dry, and wow, it was curly. And then I started bleaching and flat ironing it, and those went away. But I knew my hair had some kind of curl to it. So I thought, okay, if I do the Curly Girl Method, I can make it curly. And then did what everybody does, got on YouTube to try and figure out how to do this better. And I found you. And then I found Wavy Curly Instagram and like ran with it.
I love that. That's so funny. I was just like, what, 2 years ahead of you at that point, or a year ahead of you with the experimentation and the sharing. And then you were like, whoa. You caught up.
Your mind worked, because it worked like mine. Like, let's look at this from an analytical perspective. Like, this doesn't have to be a mystery. It doesn't have to be all loosey-goosey and fluffy. Like, it can actually make sense. And that's why I liked your stuff so much.
It makes me so happy. It's so wonderful when you find out you're not the only, like, you know, huge nerd out there. No offense, I'm not calling you one.
No, I am a nerd. Absolutely. 1000%.
I love it. I love it. And we've got a handful of comments over here. I'm so excited. You guys, thank you for chiming in. I'm so excited. We'll answer questions at the end for sure, but we can talk about some of these things as we go along too, if you want to, Courtney. So we've got a lot of options here. We got a few things to cover. We don't want to keep you guys too long, but we're really excited to share some things about ourselves and why we started this podcast now. Like, what made you say yes when I was like, hey, you want to add another thing to your plate? Because it's not like you're not busy.
I mean, everyone's busy, right? You included, like, my goodness, you're running your own business with your hair salon. So, well, it's how do you describe what you do? I'm putting words in your mouth on accident.
Oh, you don't just no. You're totally accurate. I started a hair studio. It's just me, so I have a studio in a salon building, like a salon suite building. It's a little locally owned one. It's not like a huge Phoenix salons, and there's nothing wrong with those either. But I wanted something a little bit smaller, locally owned. It's in Dallas, Texas. So my studio is called Texture Studio. It's the TXTURE for Texas. I just thought that was cute, but it's also just, you can find me under Allison Lupo. And it's in like on the border of Addison and Dallas. So it's right off of the tollway. And I specialize in wavy hair. I have some curlies. I have some coilies, but mostly it's wavies because most people don't specialize in wavy hair. So I see clients in person. I have virtual appointments. I also have educational videos on my website, as I know you do as well. And, the goal is to help women understand their wavy hair and be able to embrace how they were made and feel beautiful in that way. And I kind of want to expand, I think maybe this year, not only further into hair, but also beyond hair. And we can talk about all the things we're kind of getting into outside hair in a little bit, but into other ways to help women feel beautiful the way they were made. And I think that hair is a really big part of that. I think I read a long time ago that the way you feel about your hair is second only to body positivity and how you feel about like your body. So like if I can, and you can, and Toya can, and everybody who works in hair can make someone feel beautiful with the crown of hair on their head, I mean,
that's it.
That feels like a purpose, beyond like my kids. I have girls who are 9 and 11. I have a wonderful husband. Like, I volunteer at the school. I like to garden. Like, I like to do things around here, and help. So yes, busy, but wanting to make time to do something a little bit different.
The reason I said yes was very similar to what you just described. Wavy hair is its own unique beast. And it is really, really easy when you have wavy hair to feel like you're an imposter. You don't really belong doing this stuff with your hair. You just actually have bad straight hair, and quit kidding yourself. Just go blow dry it and flat iron it and move on. And that's not true. Wavy hair is wonderful and gorgeous, but it is very different from curly and coily hair. And there needs to be conversations for the incredible humans that fall into the category of wavy. So that's why we're starting this podcast now. We are having conversations around wavy hair and the struggles of wavy hair, and also just the fun life stuff. Because like, who doesn't like hanging out with a couple of chicks talking about what's in their purse? And
just two wavy girls on the internet. I mean, lower your expectations, everyone. Lower them tremendously, and you'll be glad you came.
Absolutely.
So with that, why don't we talk about some like myths about wavy hair and the magic of wavy hair? What are some words for you that come to mind? By the way, I'm so glad that we're starting this at the beginning of the year. Like, this is going to be so much fun to start this now. Before I go back to that question, I know that you and I had talked about committing to doing like maybe 8 to 10 episodes and seeing how it goes. Are you still feeling like that's a good number? Do we want to tell everybody like that's kind of where we're going to go for season 1 and see what happens after that?
Absolutely. Season 1 will be 8 to 10 episodes, and we will absolutely be doing more seasons if this has been helpful to you guys, if you enjoy it. So please let us know that this was helpful by commenting, liking, sharing, all those YouTube things, all those internet things that give us feedback as the content creator about how this content is serving you, because that's why we're here. We're here to be as helpful as we possibly can to you and your healthy hair journey.
And uplifting, helpful and uplifting. The thing is, I think one of the things that I find my clients see when they come in, they look more beautiful than they know that they do. They just don't see it and they need to hear it. And so we see you guys, we see you at the airport, we see you in the grocery store, we see you at the Costco, we see you at the playground. And if we don't come up to you and say, your hair looks really beautiful, know that we are thinking it, but we don't necessarily want to creep you out. Like when I say we, I mean the collective we as Wavies. But
Yes.
in 2025, maybe we should all make more of an effort to creep the people out and walk up and say, your hair looks amazing. Like that's a good thing to do. So I think that we can provide some magic to other Wavies in the world by letting them know how magical their hair is. It's just a thought. Just a thought.
So I don't know about you, Allison, but the biggest myth about wavy hair that I've ever run into is that it is just bad straight hair. That it's not actually curly. There's not an actual curl pattern in it. That it's just straight hair that needs to be polished. But the magic of it is the transformative power. Like you can go from nearly having bone straight hair with the odd bend and kink in it, and with just a few styling products and styling techniques and how you diffuse it, it will radically, magically bloom, blossom, transform, all those things.
I couldn't agree more. And I see it in my studio all the time because I will, for example, have a client that comes in with a looser wave and she wants to be really curly. I can push her hair really hard, but only within reason. So that to me proves without a shadow of a doubt every single time that you cannot take bone straight hair and turn it into curls. Like hair will only be pushed, be curled as much as it can hold that, right? As much as that pattern wants to. So yes, I can manipulate my curl pattern, my wave pattern with the right products, with hydrating my hair deeply, using a diffuser and pixie diffusing, where you take the diffuser at the bottom of the curls and you pull them up and hold it there against your scalp for a while. I can make my hair curlier, but only within reason. I will never look like one of my coily clients, right? But I can also, this is part of the magic of wavy hair, I think I'll touch on magic, is we do have so much flexibility in our hair. And that's something I'm really thankful for when, for example, I'm feeling really lazy and I don't want to do anything to my hair. At this point in time, having worn my hair consistently wavy for almost 8 years, in March will be my 8-year anniversary of starting the Curly Girl method. Like March 12th, March 16th, something like that will be my 8-year mark, which is wild to me. So I can now just blow my hair out really quickly. I mean, rough dry it and use a pick. Like I'm not even trying to use a round brush. I'm not trying to make it beautiful. And she's a little puffy, and that's okay, because I know if I sleep on it, it's going to be like a lot more smooth the next day. And I basically get to enjoy my hair fairly straight for the next few days. And then I wash it and it's going to be wavy again. And I can
absolutely the same over here. Like when I first started 5 years ago, 6 years ago, I can't math right now, but when I've started, I think it must be 6. If you're at 8 and I started 2 years after you, then it must be 6. I knew that I could not shampoo, condition, and let my hair air dry. Like it was going to look like I'd stuck my finger in a light socket. It was not okay. It was not presentable. It was not socially acceptable for me to wear my hair without doing anything to it. Then I started taking care of it. And it's a lot, isn't it? Like scrunching gel into your hair, learning how to plop and diffuse, and all the steps and all the stuff and things can be a little overwhelming.
It's a lot in the beginning. You're exactly right.
So I started taking what I like to call styling breaks, where I still cared for my hair, but I just took a break from the styling bit.
I love that.
Healthy hair, like not healthy hair. I would use good, high quality shampoos, conditioners, a little bit of leave-in, still use my microfiber towel to like get it dry, but then I would let it air dry. And it was air drying so sleek and beautiful and smooth because it was 10 times healthier than when I started. No more sticking my finger in a light socket. It didn't look like that anymore. It was so much better. So you're right. Like the flexibility of the wavy hair is incredible and really fun.
Let's touch on that magic, because the first question that popped into my mind, I can't be the only one. I imagine somebody else was like, but what did they do to like get the hair healthy so it would do the thing easily? What do you feel like, Courtney, were your top three? I know, I see you pointing at your wrist. What were your top three things that you feel like made the difference in getting to where you are today with your waves?
Time, patience, give yourself some grace. It's not Amazon free Prime 2-day shipping results here. You're not going to wash and style your hair twice and then go to magical unicorn waves. That's not how it works. It took a long time for my hair to get into that damaged state. It was going to take some time for it to get out of it. And you can speed up the process by being really intentional, but you're still not going to cheat and cut too many corners. It's going to take 6 months to really get the hair back to feeling better. So time.
And a consistency.
Yes. So time was my first one. And second was getting comfortable using leave-in, leave-on conditioning products, whether it was a leave-in conditioner or a curl cream. Prior to styling my hair wavy curly, I was terrified to put stuff in my hair because I didn't want it to feel greasy and gross and weird. Getting comfortable having leave-in conditioner and gel in my hair really helped the process. And then 2 swaps. So I'm going to count them as the third thing, even though it's like 2 things. My silk pillowcase and my microfiber towel, those 2 things, swapping those out were another thing that made a huge difference.
That's amazing. I love your list and I want to copy every single thing on it. I think that's amazing. Time is so essential. But I'm going to say the number one thing is it's not just time, it's what you do with the time. So it's like, I'm going to take your list and I'm going to flip it just a little bit. And what I'm going to say is start with leave-in conditioner. Like, don't be afraid. I have so many new clients that come in and they're like not using conditioner at all, like no conditioner, because they are they have fine hair. They have fine hair and it's really dehydrated. So it feels fragile. And they're like, but if I put this on it, it's going to feel greasy. And they're afraid of putting things on their hair that are left on there. Because one other thing is when we are teenagers, like my 11-year-old right now, suddenly your hair gets oily. It happens to all the kids. And from the time that you are 11 until you were like 20 or maybe even 25, your hair stays pretty oily. And when that happens, it's such a what's the word I'm looking for? It's not cumulative time, but it's such a turning point in your life. It's formative. It's the formative time in your life when you are learning, this is how I care for my body. This is how I care for my hair. This is how I dress myself, right?
Yeah.
So many of those clients that I still see that are like afraid to use the things, the leave-in conditioner, the cream, the gel that their hair desperately needs because it is so thirsty, are treating their hair like they're still 12. Because that oily hair didn't need a lot. It needed to be washed every single day with shampoo. Bless it. It did not need a leave-in conditioner because by the end of the day, it had its own leave-in conditioner happening.
Yes, it did.
So when you get into your 30s, I want you to pause and say, my hair probably needs something different now. I want you to go like 2 or 3 days without washing your hair and see, does it actually get as oily as it used to? It might not. So it's a good time to like pause and say, what do I need to do differently now than I did when I was younger? And leave-in conditioner, especially if you're starting out, a cream product of some kind is so essential. A styling cream, look for that on the label. I love Hair Stories. And I've got links everywhere, but I love Hair Stories cream product. I love Colton King's styling cream product. There are so many in stores. I know you've got several favorites that you love. I mean, just go put one on.
There's enough options now that if you try one and you hate it, try another.
We're so lucky now. When you and I first started, there were like no curly products.
There were 3. Just kidding.
Name them.
Name them.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Diva Curl.
Shea Moisture. Yeah.
And Cantu.
That's it. Oh, and Eco. Don't forget Eco with the very thick gel in the tub.
Yes.
And that was it. That was all we had. And then within like 2 or 3 years of starting our channels and things, it was like, and existing brands suddenly were like, oh, we have a curly line now, or we have a curl specific product. I mean, and they were listening, and so much of them were listening to the coily, kinky coilies of the world that were saying, y'all need more moisture in your hair. Y'all need silk pillowcases. And we were like, oh, that's a good idea. So to go back to what you were talking about, yes, absolutely. The silk pillowcase is is up there at the top for me as well. So leave-in conditioner, styling cream, silk pillowcase. If you're going to make a resolution for 2025, get you a silk pillowcase. I don't care what brand it is. Go on Amazon and find you one.
Girl,
there's so many good ones.
Has silk satin pillowcases now for like $5.
Okay, let's talk about satin versus silk. Let's get into that.
There is a little bit of difference, but like if it's cotton versus the $5 satin pillowcase from Walmart, please just $5 satin pillowcase.
Go get it.
But so my audience is so kind. They educated me on the terminology. I'm still saying it wrong, but satin is the weave of what the silk pillowcase is. So technically a silk pillowcase has a satin weave. But when I'm saying the word satin, what I'm referring to is the plastic polyester shiny material. It's a synthetic fiber versus the silk, which is, from silkworms.
I did not know that. That is very interesting. So, but what a satin pillowcase is made of a different fabric though, right? Yeah. It might be the way that the fabric is actually woven, but it's still made of a different fabric. Like it's vegan basically, because it's not made of silk.
It's a synthetic plastic fiber.
Okay. But it's really slick. It does the same job for your hair that silk does in my experience. But as a side sleeper and someone who is a delicate flower and sort of sensitive sometimes, I'm talking about myself here. I'm a side sleeper and I find satin to be really hard on my ears. Like I wake up and my ears actually hurt because again, delicate flower status.
I've had that happen too with the odd satin pillowcase. Like a brand will be so kind and send me one. And I've had that happen where I try it out and I'm like, why do my ears hurt when I wake up in the morning?
Why do my ears hurt?
Weird. But silk, I've had that happen less. I have had it happen like once or twice. But even with a silk pillowcase, and some satin pillowcases have been just fine and some haven't.
I had no idea. I had drawn a very hard line, but that makes sense when you talk about the way it's woven, because you could still take silk fiber and weave it in a really tight way that would still be too hard, like too tight, wouldn't have enough give to it for your ear to have that not movement.
So the first resolution is, if you haven't already, please, silk pillowcase, get you a microfiber towel, or at minimum, just start using a cotton t-shirt to dry your hair. Quit using the terry cloth towels. Here is my personal resolution for 2025. And I've already screwed it up. And we're only on, day 3 of the year. But it's not putting my hair up every single day. I have got to figure out ways to leave my hair down and quit pulling it back tight every day. I do put it up in a loose pineapple, but it doesn't matter. Like this front section of my hair is more stretched out. I have some pretty tight curls in the back of my head, but if you just met me and talked to me in the front, like you wouldn't know my hair is like a tighter curl pattern.
I know your hair. I've cut her hair before, y'all, in case y'all didn't know it. I cut a lot of your hair off. I cut a lot of your hair off in the past.
It was so much fun.
We need to do it again sometime when you're free, when you want to make a drive to come see me. We cut off a lot of your hair, and I remember seeing it spring and being like, oh, look at that. Didn't know. I mean, and your hair is heavy. Your hair is heavy. Like it has each individual strand is like, look, I'm 1 pound. Like it's got some weight to it. So I see it all the time though, where my clients will be very curly in the back and straighter in the front, or vice versa, curly in the front, straighter in the back. Like it's just a hallmark of being a wavy for sure. So I would recommend those straighter pieces that you have in the front, kind of around your face. Layering is magical, not because it creates curl, but because it creates the opportunity for curl. Mm-hmm. So I would encourage you to play with a little bit of long layering. I know you already have layers. I can see the layers in your hair, but I would experiment with some longer layers in there just to see what sort of opportunity that creates, because if it made it spring up a little bit, you might not pull it back so much. Just a thought.
Allison's got plans for my hair, guys. She's got plans.
I'm only a few hours away. Come find me. Come see me.
What resolutions do you have, Allison? Do you have any?
You know what? I leaned in really hard to the grow out last year. I don't know if you remember, but last year
Look
at this
at
time,
you. It is
my hair,
gorgeous.
thank you. It has been a minute to get here. I cut my hair into a pixie in 2000, like in the middle of COVID, right? When things were nuts. And then I was like, well, this is fun, but I don't look like myself at all. And I hated myself in every picture, but I was like, I always wanted to do it. I'm going to live in the moment. It's
Precious.
totally
I
fine.
loved it. I thought it was
Oh, thank you.
adorable.
You know what? I'm going to tell you a secret that I learned for myself that I feel like everybody else probably knows, but I didn't realize was a thing yet. There is such thing as what I call in my mind an editorial haircut. And what I wanted was an editorial haircut. An editorial means something you'd see in a magazine or in a catalog, but maybe something that doesn't translate to real life. And so for me, there was no way to pull it back. And
Yeah.
on a bad hair day when it was floppy or it was windy outside and I looked like things were not right, it would kind of ruin my day. So I was like, okay, I need to grow out this haircut. And I enjoyed growing it out over the last few years, like until like 2023. I really like leaned into pausing at the different phases of growing it out. It looked like the Meg Ryan, if you remember that look
Yeah.
from like You've Got Mail for a while, which by the way, did you know that was an accidental haircut?
I think I heard that. Yeah.
Yes. They were styling her hair apparently, and I read somewhere, forgive me if I'm getting this wrong, but I believe the stylist maybe had like her hair was really fine or really damaged and the curling iron singed off a big chunk of her hair. And
Jeez.
so they were like, we need to create something new for your character now. And so gave her a whole new vibe, but it went crazy. People wanted to wear it. It was viral for the time, right? I loved that phase. That was really fun. But then I got to a point where like this section right in the front, I'm holding this up if you're watching this on YouTube and not listening to it in our podcast, but this section right in the front, like right above my eyebrows, right above my forehead, was the stuff that was itty bitty. I mean, it was like probably, oh man, like half an inch long at its shortest. And so it took a really long time. It is now down to like mid neck if I pull it really tight, but it took me a long time to get there.
Yeah.
So long story short, I leaned really hard into the grow out last year. I have only gotten an official, a professional haircut once every 6 months. I don't really recommend going that long, but I trim my own hair because I have sharp things and I know what I'm doing, but I don't really want
to do that.
I have a DIY video for anybody who wants to do a little, I call it a touch-up trim because that's what I do on myself, but I don't give myself a full haircut. I'm just not there with cutting the back of my hair yet. So every 6 months, I'm due for my third one in February. And one of my resolutions is to more frequently deep condition and more frequently trim up my hair because the ends have gotten a little crunchy, and I know when it's time. And it's really tempting to lean into only going, but I think that can be a little bit dangerous because you're like, oh, I'm saving so much money. You don't realize if you're only getting your haircut once every 6 months, just how potentially unhealthy your hair can become, how many split ends you can get. It can really travel up your hair strand so quickly. And then that length that you thought you had, you need to lose a couple inches at least when you finally do go get it cut. So deep conditioning and frequent trims. That's where I'm at. How about you?
I have one more resolution for 2025. Drum roll, please. My resolution is to graduate from cosmetology school.
Yes. Can I drum on the table?
Oh, guys.
I'm so excited that you announced it. I'm so excited that I have been bursting. I'm so excited for you. Tell me what made you go, this is what I'm doing. This is a purpose. I want to hear everything.
I am, okay. For a long time, I have been enamored with the idea of getting my cosmetology license. But as you well know, Allison, like it's a commitment. It is not easy. And I was very seriously looking into it in 2021, was just about to pull the trigger. My son had gone into kindergarten. Like it was the time. I could do this now. And then I found out I was expecting our lovely daughter. And I went, oh, okay, cosmetology school's on pause now. And I honestly just kept praying on it and waiting on the Lord. And it was looking like I was going to have to wait another 5 years before the opportunity was going to open up for me to do this. But a new cosmetology school just opened up in my hometown and has really flexible hours. So I felt this really strong push to go. I felt the Lord saying, now is the time. And I went, but it's expensive and I'm scared. And what if? And he said, trust me. And I said, okay. So I went ahead and I enrolled, and classes start in June, guys. So I will be getting my cosmetology license in 2025.
Oh my gosh. So will you be done by the end of the year?
December is graduation. Yep.
December is graduation. God willing, there will be no COVID to stop you like it did to me in March of 2021.
That was brutal.
But you know what? You just roll with it. I admire your faith. Like, you plant yourself in it, you live in it, and you follow it. And you will do it, and you will do great things with it. Like, I'm so excited for you. I am just, I'm over the moon.
Well, my life is not my own. The Lord is my everything, and I'm going to do what he asks me to do, whether it makes sense to me or not. So here we are, 30. I will be 36 when I graduate, like midlife career change shift. Like, God, that's scary, but it's okay.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God.
Now let's go on to something light and fluffy and fun. What are some internet rabbit holes we can't escape? Non-hair related, cannot be related to hair, just random.
Okay. All right. Do you want me to go first?
I do.
Okay. Listen, I started doing a thing. Okay. I'm going to show a picture, and then I'm going to immediately regret showing this picture.
Oh, no.
So have you heard of frownies? Are you familiar with this?
I just started using them.
Oh my gosh, why are we one and the same? Okay, so like, I'm just trying to not age, y'all. I'm gonna be 45 this year, Courtney. 45 this year. And I feel the laugh lines, especially on the side. This is really my pillow line. It's my pillow line. It's like, and I love, as a side sleeper, I love to smash my face directly into the pillow. Without a face smash, there's no sleeping. So I've been attempting with these frownies to, like, if you're watching this on the YouTube, you can see the ridiculousness. So it's basically like a splint on your face. These things dry really hard. I'm using them on my forehead and on my 11s and on my laugh lines around my mouth. I am fine with graceful aging. Don't get me wrong. I don't look at other people's faces and go, oh, wow, you really need some frownies. Like, I don't do that. But like, I do look at, like, I think we all have done this because this was big on the internet for a while, like looking at how the Golden Girls looked compared to like the Sex and the City characters at the same age, same time. And I'm like, wow, we really have skincare on our side. And I shared a couple times last year, maybe the year before, that I had gotten Botox right here, and I didn't get that many units. Like 12 units, like nothing compared to what some people
get, that's hardly anything. I think some people get
hardly anything. I've got friends that get many, many more. Oh yeah, I don't do anything up here, but I will tell you guys a secret. This is the stupidest thing, but if you are 15, hear me out, okay? Stop using your eyebrows. Just stop using your eyebrows right now. I know that sounds ridiculous. Just leave them alone. Don't raise them. Like, it's actually my eyebrow, my muscles on my forehead are very weak, because when I was like, I don't know, in my early 20s or 18 or something, I was like, I'm not going to use my eyebrows to raise them. I'm not going to raise my eyebrows anymore. And I don't raise my eyebrows.
You have next to no forehead lines. I have very strong muscles in my forehead, and I am
very expressive. And that's a wonderful thing.
It is, until you're 30 and you have deep lines in your forehead.
The frownies work. The frownies work. They work
so
and
well.
Even if you don't want to use frownies, like, there's one, I think it's a good starting place that is like at Target. I think Pacifica makes it, which is like a great, like, clean brand that's totally affordable. It's like a little stick-on mask, and there's no actual adhesive on it. It's just kind of like a roughed up silicone. You can't feel the roughness, obviously, but that's what makes it stick to your skin.
To your forehead, and it kind of like irons out those wrinkles. It makes you relax, and you're not constantly like puckered and having the line.
The thing that I love about it is not that it just forces you to relax those wrinkles, but it also creates you don't have to use any skincare underneath it, because it creates a microclimate that completely protects your skin and prevents moisture loss. So you don't need to actually put more chemicals on your skin. You just need a thing that's stuck there that creates that moisture trapping microclimate, which is just the coolest thing in the world. So I'm loving them. I'm loving playing these things. One of my personal resolutions for this year and for hopefully for years going forward, I don't plan to get Botox or Dysport anymore. I've read and seen too many things now about people having like seizures as a result, having, frozen muscles, they can't blink, like all kinds of things that I don't really want to happen to me. I want to live well into my early hundreds. Like that is my goal. I'm also not drinking anymore. That's another resolution for 2025. I'm not a big drinker to begin with anyway, but like, I'm not going to do it anymore. So I'm going to join all the internet rabbit holes of the sober curious. If my husband orders a glass of wine, I might have a sip of it, but I don't want my own glass. That's where I am. I don't want my own glass anymore. It makes me have a headache. I don't feel good. I want to be 100.
There you go. The internet rabbit hole that I have gone down is weightlifting. Like my cute little 5'1" self wants to lift 225 pounds.
Okay,
like,
I saw your video lifting something ridiculously heavy the other day, and your husband like had to rescue you because you were like,
I almost died on the squat rack.
Made my day. Made my day. You didn't almost die, girl. You were so close to having that. The next time you're there, you will have that. You will have that. I'm so impressed. How did you get in? I love lifting also, but not like you love lifting. But tell me more about. And by the way, Swavy, Curly, Courtney, you are like 5'1". Your girl over here is so close to 5 feet. Can I just tell the people I'm 5 feet? I'm really close to 5 feet. I'm 4'11". I'm 4'11". I'm like 4'10" and 7/8. Okay, I admitted it. I'm not tall at all. I cannot lift the weight that she can lift because I would look like a box if I did. My muscles would be so big. Tell me more about you and these weights that you're lifting. I want to know everything. I want to know where you started. I want to know where you want to finish.
I was a competitive barrel racer for a long time. There is a deep, deep, deep core of competitiveness that lives inside Courtney's soul. And if I'm not competing, a little part of me dies. Well, weightlifting is a fun way for me to compete and show up and like feed that competitive nature that I have that wants to win. I don't know why I've got to win so badly.
You're competing against yourself. You don't actually have a competitor. And that's kind of the cool thing.
Exactly. I'm competing against myself, and I feel that same intensity and feeling of victory when I'm able to lift something super heavy that I got when I would do well at a barrel racing competition. So that is why I love the weightlifting. And the internet rabbit hole that I go down is I watch like Jeff Nippard and all of these sciencey weightlifters because I want to like dial in the process. Somehow weightlifting and weight training and exercising is so similar to curly hair. You don't sit on the couch eating a bag of chips every day of your life and get to a super unhealthy state. Go to the gym one time, lift a couple of 5-pound barbells, and then boom, you're Arnold Schwarzenegger. That's not how that goes. You don't get your hair into a really unhealthy state and then wash and style it once or twice, and then boom, it's magical and healthy. So that's why I like the weight training. Now we have had so much fun.
Wait. I want to talk about one more thing.
Go for it.
What books are you reading? I know that's not in our list here, but it's not really internet rabbit hole, but a rabbit hole that I've gone down that you haven't gone down yet because you are so healthy and so strong, but you will, is perimenopause.
Oh,
that rabbit hole has gotten me. Like, I don't know if y'all know, like I was diagnosed with ADHD a couple years ago, mostly because, and not to say that I have, you can't get diagnosed now if you didn't have it as a child. I'm sure that I had it as a child, but I had this beautiful thing called estrogen, right? And when you enter into perimenopause and menopause, like that you don't have that softening all the things anymore. And so I just picked up this book, The New Menopause. One of my clients was like, just get it. Why are you not getting it? You need to get it. You need to know what all of these symptoms are because you don't have to feel that way. You need to walk with a weight vest. You need to lift heavy, like all those things that I know the internet talks about. So that's the internet rabbit hole I wanted to mention because you are going to, I think, dodge a lot of that because you are so strong already. One of the things I read the other day was about beating your bones. Like you need extra bone strength and density so that when you get older, you have more to lose.
That's why I'm lifting really heavy. Lifting heavy things has been proven to increase bone density. We have a lot of also cognitive health issues that run in my family. And the higher muscle mass you have going into menopause decreases your chances of having some of those cognitive diseases later on. Okay, what book am I reading? I'm cheating. I'm going to pull it up on this screen because I've played around with this before, but I'm reading Love and Respect lately. This is incredible. This is a light bulb moment for me. I saw
who's the author of this book?
Dr. Emerson Eggerichs. Oh my gosh, it's right
Eggerichs?
there.
It's like it says Eggerichs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
beautiful.
I'm listening to it on Audible. But anyway, this is the book that I have been really enjoying lately. I saw some other sweet girl on the internet. This totally ties into internet rabbit holes because I saw somebody talk about it on the internet. So I started reading it. It's how men and women receive love so differently. Men don't hear "I love you." They hear "I respect you." So if you come to your husband and you show them deep respect, they receive it as you would as a woman, as love.
Oh, that's fascinating.
It's a fun book. It's a good one.
I love that. Thank you for the recommendation. That's so great. I hope a bunch of you guys check that out. Is that in your Amazon storefront?
It is not. It is not. I can drop the link in the description of the video down below if that's helpful.
Amazing. And I'll put that in there too. Yeah.
We have time for 2 questions.
Oh, we can answer some questions.
Okay, fine. We can answer some more.
We wanted to keep this short, y'all. We know that we are full of words. We love to chat. Like Courtney and I will talk on the phone and we'll be on the phone for an hour. And it's like, oh my God, how did this even happen? So we thought our phone conversations were so much fun that maybe they would be more fun with an audience and you guys might enjoy hanging out with us. So anyway, so thank you. Sorry, we went a little bit long. We planned on 30 minutes, but per the usual, we went a little bit long. So yeah, what you got? Where do we want to start?
Oh, I thought that was a question in there. Hold on. There it is. There's the question I wanted. Mags asked, how long did it take both of you to feel your hair had fully transitioned to your natural wavy state? Fun fact, I have been through transition not once, but twice. The first time I went through transition, I was starting with about a year's worth of grow out of bleach damage. I had a really bad salon experience and decided that nobody was going to be touching my hair. So I just grew out some bleach really far. And then I started playing around with the wavy curly girl method and embracing my waves and curls, chopped off all that bleach damage, started with virgin hair at that point. And it took me a solid 8 months to feel like I had a really good grasp on my hair. The second time I went in transition is right after I saw you, Allison, and you chopped off all my hair. We donated it to children with hair loss. It was great. It was so much fun. But
that wasn't my fault. It wasn't my fault because then you did a thing.
No, then I did 2. I didn't do one thing. I did 2 really bad things. I went and asked my local hairstylist in my hometown to highlight my hair as far as she possibly could. And we did it not once, but twice, really bleached the ever-loving snot out of my hair, and I got to go through transition again. Second time. So much fun.
But was it fun?
No.
Really? It wasn't even fun being like a crazy bleach blonde, not even for like a second?
Because I was so many levels lighter than my natural hair color, a week after I got it highlighted, I felt like I had those dark, nasty, greasy roots. So yes, it was actually fun. I need to be nice and generous, but I almost immediately started missing my natural hair color.
Yeah.
My virgin hair behaves so much better. So it took a year the second time around to get it back to normal. Please, Allison, how long did it take you?
I feel like our stories always parallel each other. It's so funny, Courtney, like when we had these conversations. So mine was probably, the first one was about 6 months. I was very committed. I started in like March of 2016. I started out with the deep conditioning and the cream products and the gels. And I would have a great hair day. And then I would have a crap hair day. And then I have a great hair day. And I have a garbage hair day. And I was so wildly inconsistent, even if I used the same products. But I was like, I'm not giving up on this. Like, there were some greasy days. There were some bad days. I put it all on the early Instagram. It was fine. When we could only share like one picture at a time and like a caption that was like 20 syllables or 20 characters. Yeah. So that was fun. But it took me about 6 months before I was like, oh, this hair is really good. But then I felt like even at the 2-year mark, I was like, this hair is still getting better. Like, this is great. I had grown it out from maybe right about at my collarbones was when I started, maybe a little bit above. And it was probably about to where it is right about now, which is just like maybe the back bra strap on your back.
Mhm.
But it was very lank and limp. And so I cut about 4 to 5 inches off of it and brought it back up again. And that kind of gave it some new life. And it was nice. So I kept learning my hair. So I'd say 6 months in, I felt like I knew her a lot better and we were getting along really well. And then fast forward to 2 years, not from there, but 2 years in total. So a year and a half after that, it felt like another turning point, and it just got better and it got easier. And then in 2020, of course, I cut it into a pixie and I was like, who is this? I had to learn a whole new way of styling my very short hair because, of course, as a wavy,
Yeah.
your waves don't start until you probably reach about your ear, from the top of your scalp to your ears. So I had to do little things to sort of like create texture on top of my head. And that's when I started thinking less about volume and definition and talking more about actual texture, just like movement in the hair. And then, of course, growing that out was like a second way of getting to know my hair. And it was completely virgin hair from the start. So there was no damage that I was dealing with like I did in the beginning. So that was kind of new and interesting. So that was super duper fun. All right, I'm going to throw a comment. Oh, you just got one. I'm going to throw up the
Sorry.
I've got one. That's okay. I've got one. I just want to see her. We got to see her and we got to give her hugs. Okay, continue.
Okay. Any fragrance-free mousse foam recommendations? I only see from Bread and one from Know Nothing. Any options out there? The closest one would be Innersense. And it has natural fragrance in it, but it smells very, very crunchy. Like, and when I say natural fragrance, I think there's like some essential oils in there to make it smell pretty, but it's.
Innersense has just come out with a no fragrance line.
Didn't know that. Okay.
It's brand new. Well, when I say brand new, it's probably about maybe 6 months. I don't even have it in my studio just yet. It's still pretty new. So Innersense has new, so good call on that. It's fragrance free. Jessie Curl offers almost all of their products in 3 fragrances, and one of those is fragrance free.
Do they have
of course, there is Know Nothing, but you can order that on their website. Sometimes you can't find that on Amazon. Now, Jessie Curl does deal with Amazon directly, but you can go directly to jessiecurl.com and order almost anything of theirs in a fragrance-free version. And I think they do free shipping always on the 19th, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Because it was Jess's favorite number. So I just thought that was.
I don't know if Jessie Curl has a mousse, but they've got like a gelibration spray, which might be similar to a mousse, sort of.
And you know what? Let me rewind there too, because you mentioned Innersense, and I was thinking of their shampoo and conditioner. They have just come out with a fragrance-free shampoo conditioner. I don't know if that fragrance-free translates to their styling products as well. So we'll need to double check that, because
they
haven't rolled that out.
Specific question, very specific product question. Oh,
I like it though. I like it though a lot. And I know there's another one out there, and it's going to hit me like lightning in a minute. I just can't think of what it is, but it'll come to me.
My camera just decided to die. So that is great. What was the question that you wanted to throw on the screen?
I am going to pop. That's okay. Most people are going to listen to the podcast. They're going to take us with us while they do their walk around the neighborhood, while they're at the Costco. I just know it. All right. This one is from Gina. It says, I have not been able to fully commit to my wavy curly hair.
Oh,
that's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay, Gina. Like, I want you to know that, like, that's fine. Don't commit fully. Like, wear your hair the way that makes you feel pretty. And on the weekends, or when you have a minute, like, treat that hair, deep condition that hair, wear that hair with some styling cream in it. And I bet that you start doing it a little bit more here and there, you might find that you can commit to it sooner than later. But if you can't, and you like the way it looks both ways, wear it both ways. I mean, Courtney, I know you and I are so similar, but I subscribe to a guilt-free way of wearing one's hair at all times.
Absolutely. I love that. All right. Last question. Desert Island Deep Conditioner.
Oh, such a great one. Such a great one. Okay. No, I have to think about it. You have to go first.
Jessie Curl Deep Treatment.
Really? That is such a good one for you. I totally would have used that one on your hair too. Yes. One of the people had asked earlier, like, what our hair properties were. How would you describe your hair properties? Because that probably is what makes that your Desert Island Deep Conditioner.
When my hair is in its virgin state, not highlighted or colored in any way, my hair is fine, extremely low porosity, like from root to tip, very low porosity. And I am kind of high density. Like it is low porosity, it is fine, and it is high density, which makes it super heavy.
It is. And your individual strands are very silky and smooth, but they are a little bit coarser than mine, meaning that the individual hair strand is larger around in diameter than mine are. Mine's a little bit finer than yours. I think that's why my hair likes protein more than yours does. So for me, my Desert Island Deep Conditioner continues to be Curl Junkie Repair Me.
Okay, that one's awesome too.
It's a repairing heavy protein deep conditioner, but the protein is of like basically it's keratin. Like it's keratin amino acid. So it's the stuff that your hair is made of. It's not wheat, it's not soy, it's not something that's necessarily coming from a plant that has a much larger molecular structure that floats on the outside of your hair. Like it's really stuff that your hair is made of. So I think it can really be used by all hair types. And it's a harder one to find. It's a total pain in the butt to try to find it, but it's worth it. It's so good. This was fun.
All right, guys. Thank you all so much for hanging out with us for this first episode of Wavy Girls on the Internet. We deeply appreciate each and every single one of y'all. Please stay tuned for 5 p.m. Central Standard Time on Fridays for the first 10 episodes of this podcast in season 1 of Wavy Girls on the Internet.
Seriously, we need you guys to subscribe to this. You want to get a notification when this happens. Like my husband tells my kids, smash that like button, y'all. Smash that like button.
Smash it, guys. Smash it.
We're so glad you're here. Hey, thanks for listening to Two Wavy Girls on the Internet, guys. We'll see you next Friday.
Bye.
Bye.